I'm Brody Eastwood. This is my 4th place deck profile for the Gencon Ultimate Cup. We are going to start, as always, with DinoBeemon specifically. Card's good for the same reasons it's been good in every other deck profile I've made. It draws you cards, it puts cards in trash. I did not know that Pillomon was legal for this event, but apparently it is. I would be on that instead if I knew. Then we have the beating heart and soul of this deck. We have these 12 cards. We have Wormmon, which has completely revolutionized everything about this deck. We have Paildramon, which is what enables Wormmon to revolutionize everything. These two cards together, I go into a lot of detail in my top 64 deck profile from a fairly recent regional, also on this channel. I go into a great detail about what these two do together. Watch that for the specifics about the absolutely bonkers shit these two do. And the DinoBeemon has finally given us a payoff, which is something this deck has been dying for. We just have not had a payoff until now, and this DinoBeemon is that. The raid, the oftentimes retail matters, the rush really frequently matters. Combined with some other things, you can be putting in a bunch of checks with this guy, and he just puts in so much work. You can do so much with him. The partition almost never matters, but he just does so much. Then we have our rookies that can actually digivolve on the eggs lineup. We have Veemon, which discards cards and draws cards and gives DP boosts. All of these things are really, really good. We have Wormmon, which gives retaliation, which is much better when you have access to raid, especially when aces exist. We have this Veemon, which is mostly just serving the being named Veemon role, which is very good at, especially when you bring it out with something like Virus Fighter, and it sees the Wormmon come out. Very strong, not strong enough to be at more than 2, because you can't digivolve it on the eggs, and it's no Wormmon. Then we have the rest of our champions. You just have to see one of these guys next to the other Paildramon, or you need to see these two next to each other. Seeing two of the same is useless, so we have an even split because they are effectively the same card. There's a little bit of difference. It almost never matters, but you just have to see it, so 3 and 3. Then we have our not the new DinoBeemon ultimate lineup. The Paildramon is the one you want for the inherit. The on-delete, kind of whatever, bringing out Veemon's just less powerful. DinoBeemon, you want not so much for the inherit, but the on-delete is super strong. If you use DinoBeemon to bring out DinoBeemon, then you give the DinoBeemon rush. Then if it dies, you can bring out Wormmon and do the whole combo again. If it doesn't die, then you just DNA again, which is awesome. That's what you want. So both of these are good. They're kind of equally good. Neither are as good as the other one, so 2 and 2. Then for our cards that shouldn't exist lineup, we have Valkyrimon Ace. It won me like 5 games today. This card's ridiculous. It's nonsense. I hate it. It shouldn't exist. But you know, all of those things are good reasons that I should be playing it. And so I am. You know why this card's good. You're playing this card if you're playing a yellow or red deck. You don't need me to tell you why it's good. It shouldn't exist. Ban this card. Then we have our Imperialdramon lineup. We have 4 Dragon mode, just because that's what the combo is. It ends in Dragon mode. You run 4 because you need it. These are useless without Dragon mode, so having more of these than that doesn't make any sense. Fighter and Fighter are both really good. This one's better against DinoBeemon. I didn't happen to see DinoBeemon today. But being able to wipe the field, super strong, especially with the new Wormmon being able to suspend things for you when attacking. Super strong, does a lot of stuff, always has sec +1, and can be super duper big, because you have a bunch of colors. The Virus Fighter, it has piercing, which is cool. It makes your matchup against Secon an auto win, which is awesome. Its on delete is busted to shit. If you can get it deleted, then you win. You just win. Then we have our options. We have Crimson Blaze to kill Pillomon, and to screw over this deck, and to screw over DinoBeemon. You know our Crimson Blaze is good. And Calling from the Darkness to kill this guy, and a bunch of other stuff. Culling does everything for this deck. It finds you the pieces that you need. If you put them in trash, you can grab 2 Wormmon and go. It kills the fighter mode, which again, if you can kill your fighter mode, you win. It does everything you want it today. Finally, we have our Tamers. We have 3 Davis and Ken, because if you can resolve this effect, you're probably winning, probably very quickly thereafter, just because being able to play an extra body is so much for this deck. It just does so much for you. You never get the memory, except from the BT12 fighter, so you never get the memory, but that's fine. It plays out Guys, which is basically gain 3 memory, as far as this deck's concerned. And gain 3 memory at start of main phase is pretty good. Ty, having a setter is really good. Having a red setter is better because of Crimson Blaze. And with Ty's Sec +1, you can strip an entire security in 1 turn. If you can keep turn after doing it, you can then proceed to play Wormmon and kill them. With Ty, you can go to DinoBeemon. You get 2 checks because of Ty giving it Sec +1. Then you DNA, and then you get 3 checks with Dragon mode, or Fighter mode, doesn't really matter. And then their security is empty, and then you play Wormmon and finish them off. Super awesome, amazing. And having a setter means that you can play a rookie and then do everything. It's probably worth mentioning why I'm not on Analog Youth, because it's an obvious include for this deck. I'm not on Analog because it's just too slow. You can't sit around playing things your opponent doesn't have to answer right now, and your opponent doesn't have to answer Analog. And they do have to answer a Wormmon, so if you play Wormmon, you gave them 1 more memory, but they have to answer it. They don't have to answer Analog Youth, it's just sitting there doing nothing. And the memory from it's nice, but just having exactly 3 memory is so much more important than that 1 memory from Analog. So Ty just does more, and you just don't have space for Analog. You just have so much stuff you need to get done that Analog just can't do it. So that's it. You significantly gain from being best of 1 for this deck. It's unexpected currently, although I guess when people see the results from this event, it won't be so unexpected. People will start knowing about this deck now. But you know, for this event, it was unexpected, and people will attack into Valk that you've obviously set up, or you've even searched. People just attack into it because they aren't expecting it. They just don't realize that you can do it, and the explosiveness of this deck is something that people just don't expect, which in a best of 3 environment, when they see you explode in game 1, now they treat you real careful. They're real afraid to give you too much memory. But they don't learn that until game 2, because the moment they give you too much memory, they instantly die. So in best of 1, it's over. They learned their lesson, but it doesn't matter. In best of 3, they learn their lesson, and then they can apply it. So Virus Imperial gains a lot from this format, and I do not make any claims that it's better outside of best of 1 than Free Imperial. But in this format, I genuinely think that it is the better Imperial. Thank you for watching. Ban Ruin Mode.